When was the last time you congratulated yourself? I work with entrepreneurs. Just this morning, I spoke with a young entrepreneur, and she is very career driven and very focused on being the best that she can. She has these big goals and she has a high standard for herself, like most entrepreneurs do. But I had to remind her, it's very easy to be hard on ourselves and to remember all of the things we did wrong in a day, little errors that, we can easily get frustrated with. But I wanted to remind her, and as well, that reminded me of when was the last time I actually patted myself on the back, like physically, give myself a pat. And to go, hey, I signed a new contract. Let's just stop and appreciate that. I tend to just take these things for granted as the years go by, as I'm learning to trust more and more in the universe. It's always, the whole lesson of stop and appreciate what you have, but also to, acknowledge what you've done. So, to pat yourself on the back, and it can be not just for financial goals, but it could be small daily things like, hey, today I chose to not take that Coca-Cola. Instead, I chose, a really fresh fruit smoothie. And, just to acknowledge, hey, I chose that to nourish my body instead of something that will deplete my energy. So these little daily choices, we make thousands of choices in a day, but when do you actually acknowledge the good choices or, the successes of your day? It could be, I really committed to, boundaries with communication and my needs or my requests or just anything that I don't think as humans we stop and acknowledge all the time. So I really invite you to share with me, your successes, just even of today, and the things that you want to start acknowledging and appreciating about yourself in business. Being an entrepreneur is every day, I feel like, we need to be out of our comfort zones. And just that into itself is a huge success. To step into the unknown every single day really should be acknowledged and celebrated, and also celebrated amongst others. I'm part of these global power teams of entrepreneurs, and we come together in a really informal way to just share our successes, but also to be in a safe place to be vulnerable of what we need to work on still. And, just showing up to things is a huge success. So I really encourage you, start acknowledging your small steps. I used to be very impatient. I wanted everything done yesterday. And now as I'm, in a really laid back country, it's helped me to calm down and to be more in the flow and listen to myself. Just recently, I started taking naps, which was super against, my beliefs about myself, my beliefs, society, what society says. And I had to make that into homework, literal homework, to say, this part of the day, I'm going to relax my nervous system. I'm going to relax my body. I'm going to relax my mind, and made it into almost as an important task as any other task I would do in my day. And it's just crazy how we don't really acknowledge or allow ourselves, one, to make errors, one, to relax, one, to do the things that bring us joy and passion, maybe on a Monday afternoon. How often, even as employees, do request these emotional days off where, or even family days off where you want to connect with a loved one or a family member. And, in our society, we don't always allow that. We say, no, you have sick days. But sick days usually go back to physical sick days. And, and we're in such a fast world that we don't, we eat fast food and everything's processed. And I used to be like that. Back when I was first an entrepreneur, I felt like cooking and eating was the biggest waste of time. Like, I love food and I love to eat, and there's no problem there, but I just felt like it had to be fast and like as fast as possible. So that was microwavable foods. That was, I don't even know, fast food, like really things that would deplete my energy. And, I often remind people I work with, all we have is our energy, especially if we're self-employed. People want to work with us and they choose us. And if your energy is depleted, or your mood, or you have brain fog, or anything that is not optimal in your life, it will reflect in business. So when I work with people, it's not just financial goals. It's like, okay, fine, you have this financial goal, great. But again, as I often talk about the different pillars, what about health and spirituality? And, are you at your optimal energy level to be able to achieve your financial goals? We put, I was working with this young entrepreneur, she has big financial goals, but it's like, okay, are you willing to be sick to get to that? Are you willing to lose romantic relationships because of that? Are you willing to lose friends because of that? At the end of the year, you may have reached a target, but what have you sacrificed and what have you almost sabotaged in the way to get there? And so it's often fun, I remember thinking that too. I was just like her. I see myself so much in her, because I felt like if I had this much money in the bank account, then I would feel more stable. Okay, why do I want stability? Well, I want to feel, free. Okay, why do I want to feel free? Well, I want to do what I want to do. Why do I like? And I really broke down, really getting deep into the why of it. And then it went down to, I want this amount of money in my savings, because then I will have peace of mind. And then what's peace of mind? It will create peace. So ultimately, all I want is peace in my life. And that's still a goal of mine, to be in the flow, to enjoy every moment, and to live in peace. And so I thought by this amount, I was going to have peace. As the years progressed, I saved that amount, which was more than I ever thought I could. I saved it, fine. But has that created peace in my life? No, not at all. What happened for me was then I switched and started to become attached and fearful. What if I lose that? What if I don't have that again? Like, the mind is crazy. So I wanted to remind her, you and I, as I speak, I like to remind myself of all of these things, that we might have a goal of whatever amount of money, but the ultimate goal is what? And, will we actually achieve what we want with that particular goal? It could be anything. It could be, I want to have the most fit body. Okay, why? Well, I want to attract my dream partner. Okay, but you could have you could be exactly as you are and still attract your dream partner. So it's really like to go a little step deeper. What do we really want? And so those are the things I wanted to talk about today. What do we really want under the layers of our goals and actions and working so hard? And, and just stopping sometimes and taking a break, allowing ourselves a break. And if that's hard to do, to put that in our agenda as equal, It goes to the point also that I like to talk about is integrity. I feel like I am such a woman of my word. If I make a commitment to someone, even if I'm sick or if I don't want to do it, I honor my word. And I always felt like that was full of integrity. But then as the years progressed, I realized, well, am I full of integrity with my own word to myself? When I put, something in my calendar, go for a walk in nature, do some yoga, meditate, take a nap. Now that's one of my things I need to work on. Take a nap. Well, do I always honor the commitments to myself? And when I don't, that means I'm a person that lacks integrity. And so that just affects me so much when I hear that, because I don't ever want to be a person who lacks integrity. But I also have to honor myself and celebrate myself and, and really, you know, you know, honor my own commitments and my own word to myself that leads on to levels of trust. If I say I'm going to do something, if I say I'm going to take 1 hour to myself as a break this afternoon, and I don't, I go into emails or I do whatever I do in business, there's always lists to do, things to do. And if I don't honor that, then I start lacking trust in myself. And again, one thing that I really, spoke about in another video is I want to work on trusting myself as much as trusting the universe, as much as trusting others. And if I can't even keep my word to myself for little things, then subconsciously I'm telling myself I can't trust myself for the bigger things. And I think that's all we really have in life. I'm really big on communication, and I'm really big on words and what we say, one, to others and to ourselves. The people I surround myself are for full integrity. Like, I would not even want to have friends or be around people who I can't trust or who say things that I don't believe will manifest. I really don't even want to be in energy like that. I want to be around people who really take their words seriously, and it doesn't have to be strict or serious. It doesn't have to be, massive things. It could be simply like, I want to honor the commitments they make to themselves, and whatever that is. It could be simple things. I want to take a nap every day. Like, I really respect someone who says that and then does it. I really respect that. And it's hard, we have to just little steps every day to try to be the best we possibly can, but yet also along the way to be gentle with ourselves. And I think that's the message I just really feel called to share with you today. As I was speaking and mentoring this woman today, going, wow, these are all reminders that I need, and I really wanted to share them with you. So I'm curious, to see in comments, or you can always reach out, what are the commitments that you want to make to yourself? And, you have this goal, but I encourage you to really go through, have an ultimate goal, and then ask yourself 7 times why. Really, it takes 1 minute. But in 1 minute, you can get from some outer goal to such a deep inner knowing of why you want that. And it's often very different and very surprising. And so I invite you to do that for really any goal you have. We have many goals in our life. It could be physical health, mental, spiritual, financial, any aspect, any goal that you have. I really encourage you to do the 7-step why game. We could call it a game, and play that with loved ones, yourself, and do check-ins with yourself. And I also want to give you a little bit of homework to do something to relax during this week that's maybe out of the ordinary. So maybe you nap every day and that's your reality. Great. But what if you go and drive to a park and spend an hour alone in the park with yourself? Like, one thing this week. I worked with busy business owners, entrepreneurs of big companies for over a decade, and really every week my homework was not, do this task. It was stop and take some time for yourself. And I feel like I have to remind that so often to people. So until next time.